What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games, and we have another daily dose of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news and leaks to share with you all today. And today's a big episode because Kaka did a massive AMA, and we're going to talk about all the information from that about new Pokemon types, the Paradox Pokemon. We even learned some information about raids and egg hatching as well. So some interesting stuff today. And of course, guys, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Let's begin with some news about the raid battles for Scarlet and Violet. So shiny raids are back, which is awesome. I'm not surprised about this, but it is good to hear confirmation because I love shiny raid hunting. It was one of my favorite things to do in Sword and Shield. Apparently, the raid battles in Scarlet and Violet are going to be much harder than Sword and Shield, so I wonder how they're going to up the difficulty. We know that the battle system is changing a bit to be a lot faster, because it was pretty slow waiting for everyone's turn to go, and then you have to wait for all the animations. So it seems like we're just going to do our attack, and then we're going to attack, and the opponent's going to attack us. Really wonder how it's going to happen. I do want to see a full breakdown video, but apparently the speed is increased, which is nice too. And lastly, we can farm raids to get rare spawns, which is great. This is something we were able to manipulate in Sword and Shield because we were able to change the seed of the actual raid spawn to make it turn into anything else. So I wonder if we'll be able to do that in this game, which is going to be really important because, you know, if you want to complete your decks, this is definitely going to be the fastest way to do it. It's just to do a bunch of raid battles and catch the Pokemon you need directly instead of just wandering the field, hoping for that 1% spawn to actually occur. And there's going to be some rare items that drop from raids. I assume some exclusive items too. Of course, I feel like the candy system's coming back for experience. I'm sure like ability patches as well, which is probably the most sought out item. We also got some new information about the egg system. And if you didn't know, we know that eggs are going to be hatchable at the Pokemon camp. There is no Pokemon daycare. But now we learned today that the new system to get eggs is more passive and better for busy people. So what does that really mean? Honestly, I think Centro nails it here. If it's better for people who are busy, people are going to the office a lot, who are working a lot, then it's going to have to be a time-based system. If it is a real-world time system that is based off the time on your switch clock, if we are able to manipulate the switch clock like we did in Sword and Shield to change the day, to change the weather, to change the raid of Pokemon, then if we can do that in this game, then we're going to be able to hatch eggs immediately, which will be fantastic. And I'm sure someone's going to find out how to do that, and I actually cannot wait because this may be the easiest game to hatch eggs and hatch shinies from. And now for our headline story. Kaka did an AMA on a Japanese website, and Pearl Enthusiast here made a massive thread with all the new information that we learned from that AMA. We have learned that the Scarab Beetle starts as a pure bug type and then eventually evolves into a bug psychic type, which I think is actually really interesting, and I actually see it making sense. A Scarab Beetle gives me the big Egyptian vibes, and I can see a bug psychic Pokemon with some sort of Egypt flair to it, so I think that'll be really cool. I think it is disappointing that it is not bug and ground. There is not a lot of bug ground Pokemon. I think the only one I can remember is Nincada, which isn't even a final form, so I do think it is a miss on the typing. We also learned that Nemona's team is going to have a Pawmi and a Lycanroc, so confirmation that Lycanroc is in the game, which is awesome. Penny's ace is Sylveon, which I don't think is a big surprise. Sylveon is the most popular EV right now. Straight up, Pokemon Company loves marketing Sylveon on everything. We also learned that the future Volcarona is a fire type, but it is not a fire fairy, so Fire Fairy Volcarona is dead because we know the ancient Volcarona is keeping the bug typing. So the ancient Volcarona is going to be bug in something, and the future Volcarona is going to be fire in something, but not fire and fairy. The Poison Flower has two types, and the Poison Flower is actually going to be a poison and a rock type, which is a really awesome typing. We only have seen that typing once in an Ultra Beast, so I'm pretty happy with that. Paradox Jigglypuff is a fairy type, dropping the normal typing, but it's not going to be a fairy poison. And because it's not going to be fairy poison, and it does look like Dracula with those fangs, I think it's going to be fairy and dark because it sort of has that evil vibe to it. I can't really see it being anything else. We also learned that Paradox Amoonguss is not keeping the poison typing, but it's keeping the grass. So I do think it's going to be grass in ground, which is, you know, it's all right typing. 4 times weak to ice isn't great. Paradox Volcarona is keeping the fighting typing, but there was a thinking emoji on the psychic typing. So I don't think it's going to actually be a fighting and psychic, and it's not going to be a fire type. My theory is it's going to be fighting and fairy, because if it is a fusion between Gallade and Gardevoir, then they're going to get both of their exclusive typings and drop the psychic altogether. The spider Pokemon is a pure bug, which is, like I said, disappointing and is not a dark type. So this is not our bug Darkmon. How reconfirms that the dolphin is still a pure water type, which is boring. The blue Tauros is confirmed now to be fighting in water. We thought it was either fighting in water and fighting in ice. Fighting in water is a great type combo, so I'm actually super hype about this one. And the tumbleweed Pokemon is actually not a grass and ground type, it is grass and ghost. So we have another grass and ghost Pokemon, which I think is fun. We've seen it a lot recently ever since Gen 6, but I do think it's a fun typing, and it actually is pretty cool because, you know, tumbleweed is technically like sort of like a dead plant just moving in the wind. So I think that's really cool. He does a thinking emoji if there is any bug or dragon Pokemon. That doesn't necessarily mean there isn't one. I do think there is potentially one Pokemon that could be bug and dragon. More confirmation that the catfish sushi Pokemon is pure water. The Paradox Mischievous is ghost and fairy, so I did get that right in the last video, and that is an awesome type combination, and it's gonna be really powerful too, so watch out for it. The Haka fish is still a water dual type. It can't fly, so it's water, probably not a flying type. So we'll have to wait and see. There is no Togedemaru in the deck, so I don't think it's too surprising either. And there is a new way of battling in Scarlet and Violet. It is apparently a non-battle battle, which I wonder what that actually means. So I'm super interested in learning more about this potential new battle system. And we already talked about the flowers typing is a poison rock, which is a 2-stage Pokemon. Future Paradox Volcarona is not dragon type, so it is not going to be fire fairy or fire and dragon. So future Paradox Volcarona may not actually be the cool one. I think the Scarlet one may actually end up being better. Kaka also hints at that there is a season system to Scarlet and Violet, which is really cool. I'm sure we're going to be able to manipulate this by changing the time on our switch clock. And the sub-legendaries are not villains, so there's going to be probably a post-game type of thing, or right at the end where you get to catch them all. But they're, even though they're dark type, they're not going to be villains, and the crab Pokemon is only a rock type. We also learned that the Tentacle Regional Fake is not grass poison, but it is a grass type. I'm still thinking grass fairy. Oricorio is confirmed to come back to Scarlet and Violet. We learned that future Paradox Donphan is a ground type of a secondary typing. We also know that the Scarlet one is a ground type of a secondary typing too. The Hariyama Paradox is not a ghost type. Plusle and Minun are not in the decks, and Meowstic is not in Scarlet and Violet either. And then Kaka just details the typings for a bunch of new Pokemon. The Common Rider Pokemon is a bug in dark. It is not Bug Dragon. I don't think the Bug Dragon typing is dead, but it is a bug dark Pokemon. Now to talk about Paradox Pokemon. Riddler Koo says the ancient moth, which is Scarlet's exclusive of Volcarona, will look like Larvesta, which is going to be really interesting, and we know it's keeping that bug typing. So to break it all down here again on the Pokemon Paradox list for Scarlet and Violet, Jigglypuff is confirmed fairy and something else. Delibird confirmed ice and something else. Amoonguss confirmed grass and something else. Gallade is going to be confirmed fighting and something else. Past Volcarona confirmed bug, and I think it's going to be Bug Dragon. I really do think Bug Dragon is here. Think about it, Larvesta is a worm-like Pokemon. Imagine an ancient one. It just became a really big worm, snake-like looking creature. Worms can be considered to be like underground or land dragons. I can see the Bug Dragon for ancient Volcarona. I am sold on that idea. I'm so excited for that. I really hope that's true because, man, we need a Bug Dragon. I think this would be a perfect Pokemon to get the Bug Dragon typing. And we learned that the future Volcarona will be fire, not bug. It'll be fire, but not fire dragon and not fire fairy. And part of me's thinking maybe fire electric, which would be so cool typing wise. So that is where I'm at with my heart. If we get Bug Dragon and fire electric Volcaronas, this is going to be the hardest version exclusive for me to decide on personally. We know that Salamence is going to be dragon and something, and Tyranitar, we actually don't know which type is going to keep, but I am assuming it's going to be keeping the dark typing. Both Donphans are going to be ground type and something else. Mischievous is fairy and ghost. Hariyama is fighting and something else. We don't know what Magneton is. We don't know what Zwelos is. And we don't know what Suicune of Virizion are. I mean, their typings could have completely changed, but I have to assume that they're going to keep one of their typings. So at least with Suicune, we know for a fact that it is keeping its water typing if it's following the same math. And one more thing, I want to make it clear that all of these Paradox Pokemon are endgame legendary type Pokemon. They're all going to have an incredibly high base stat total. We don't know if they're all going to be the same base stat total, but they're all going to be within the same range. So something like Jigglypuff will pretty much have the exact same base stat total of Tyranitar. And yes, they are completely different Pokemon from their original counterparts. They are just using the exact same design and just changing them, but they're changing the types, changing the moves, changing the abilities. So just because Violet has 2 pseudo legendaries with Tyranitar and either this is Wellos or Hydreigon in this slot, doesn't necessarily mean Violet is the better version, to put that out there, because all these Pokemon are going to be at the same power level, just to consider if you are trying to debate on which one to get. Because if you like Jigglypuff a lot, then go with Scarlet and don't feel bad about it. Well guys, let me know in the comment section below what Paradox Pokemon you're most excited for. Honestly, I am really excited to see what these 2 Volcaronas are going to be, because I love Volcarona, I love bug types and fire types, so this is going to be perfect for me. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe as well if you're new, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.